Greetings from Act Now. I recently posted a video about, what was it called? I forget what it was called. I don't know. I make a lot of videos, so I don't remember all their names and what's in each one. But recently I said something about, I don't know, a shift. Oh yeah, it was something about Earth downshift or planetary downshift. I hear a lot of talk about the planet. The whole planet is shifting. Well, and I said in that video, I don't know. But I look around and I'm not seeing anything like that. You know, I am seeing, as I said in that video, of course, this one is not going to be just a repeat of that one, but I'm going to, tie these together and then go another step, add to it, all right? Well, I said something about, I see some people, I know that some people are starting to become more aware of certain things, most likely because they've been hearing them said. Well, that's just a natural thing. People will eventually begin to understand or believe what they've been told over and over. It doesn't mean that there's any grand, consciousness shift happening, other than some ordinary consciousness shift that just takes place normally, all the time. Well, here's another thing. Let's say, how in the world am I supposed to be convinced that human consciousness is surging forward at breakneck speed all of a sudden as some kind of, evolutionary leap? Which, by the way, when things do evolve or move forward, they kind of move forward in jerks. That's true, just like the changes of the seasons. I live in a moderate zone, a temperate zone, I guess you could call it. And the seasons do change. Here where I live, we actually have a winter, and we actually have a summer, and we actually have a fall, and we actually have a spring. But the changes are not a smooth flow. Every year I hear people saying the same stupid thing. They say, my goodness, if only the weather would make up its mind. I thought it was summer, and now look. And I say, well, remember last year you said the same thing, but now you're talking about it like this never happened like this before. Last year you were saying the same thing, and I pointed this out to you last year, if you remember, that seasonal changes are not a smooth transition, as in seamless, like going from winter to summer during what's called spring is not every day is a little warmer than the day before. This is not how it happens. It kind of takes place in little jerks, little step forward, little step back, little step forward, little step back, and then maybe one day it's like a leap forward, and then it kind of like waits a little bit, and maybe a little step back, and then another surge forward, and then like an apparent surge backwards. But overall, the tendency is in a general direction, and it finally gets there, however, jerkily. Changes take place in jerks. Alright, so, yeah, there could be some truth to the idea that right now there's kind of like a jerk in a certain direction, but it's not with all things. And this is just normal. It's not a planetary shift. I don't see that anyway. I do see what's going on, I think, and I'm trying to explain that, but planetary shift, for God's sakes, if there was a big shift in planetary consciousness, then how in the world did something like what happened today happen? And how does it happen to a lot of people? Same thing has been happening for a very, very long time. Here's what it is, simple little thing. Alright, simple little thing. Here's your shift in consciousness for you. You go buy out, somebody went out and bought a couple of days, well, I don't know, maybe yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that. A little item for the house. All right. Get it home. Now, it takes time to go get this item. The item is, I don't know, $20. Okay? $20. It takes time to go get it. There's gas involved. There are automobiles involved. There are traffic signals involved. There's a little bit of frustration with traffic involved. There's, I don't know, time spent in the store involved. Time looking at different items, trying to figure out which one is the right one. There is time put into measuring the distance that this item is supposed to cover in the house. A lot got involved, okay? Then there's the money spent. And then there's getting back out of the store, going back out of the parking to the parking lot. Oh, and then deciding to buy something else because it's there, and you know the person was there. This wasn't something scheduled to be purchased, but there's more money spent because it's there. All right, there's that, and then there's getting home, getting the thing out of the package, getting the thing installed, getting the thing put into place, checking to make sure that it works. Creating a little bit of damage, you know, like scraping something against the wall, creating a mark that didn't quite clean all the way off, so now there's a mark on the wall. A little bit of frustration over that. Now the thing actually, it works, but not sure because the item that, you know, let's say this is a little cable or something like that connects together two electronic devices. Well, then it's discovered that the one electronic device isn't fully functioning. So now, should the cable be returned or not? All right. Well, okay. Yeah, let's return the cable because, oh, it was discovered now. It's discovered now that that same kind of thing is available at a different store in town for a couple dollars less. Oh, okay. Well, there's good reason to, you know, take it back apart, put it back in its package, find the receipt, and take the time to do this whole process all over again. All over again. The whole thing. In fact, more. More. Even more. Because now something has to be returned to one store, and then the person has to go to the other store to buy this item at some dollars less. A significant savings, by the way, it appeared, given what was discovered, let's say, on the internet. The faithful internet, the trustworthy internet. Oh, well, okay. All right. So, go buy the item. But you get to the store where the other one is after the first one has now been returned and the cash has been reimbursed. You take that cash over to the next store and look for the item that was found on the internet to be in that store, and it turns out it's not there. No, it's not there. Well, then suddenly memories rush in that just an hour before, everything was fine at home. The item purchased the day before was there at home. It was all hooked up and it worked. The item itself worked. There was nothing wrong with it. And it only cost $20 in the first place. But here we are at the store, looking for this other item, identical, nearly so, just maybe a different brand, but at a significantly reduced rate, and it's not there. So now one has to go waste time to find a customer service representative. You do not have to actually press 1 or hold for a customer service representative, but you must actually walk on foot to find one. Okay, one is located. That person says, "Let me look." And that person gets out a gadget and takes some bit of time, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. Precious time now. Precious time. A very precious 3 or 4 minutes because it's already 3 or 4. That's 3 or 4 minutes right there. That was unnecessary. So this is going into overtime. Overtime. This is overtime. Overtime. Over a period of time. Overtime. Okay. Anyway. Finally says, "Well, I see what you mean. It is here on the internet, but that has nothing to do with our store." Yes, it's our store on the internet, but it's not our store. That item is on the internet, on our store, internet location, store. store. But that's not this store. We don't have that. We can't order that. Oh, okay. All right. Well, here, let me get the version of it that you do have, which actually turns out to cost exactly the same amount as the one that was returned to the other store. All right. Well, then, get back in the vehicle, okay? The vehicle. The vehicle with which you have actually no mental rapport. It's just a silly machine that is burning up gas. And now there's the traffic again and all of that. And then, get back home and repeat all the same actions as the day before. When actually there were more important things to be doing. And you didn't save any money. But the thought was there. Hey, the thought was there. I guess it's the thought that counts. But hey, if any money had been saved, well, okay, actually $1 did get saved. $1. And in moving stuff around to reconnect this whole thing, it's discovered that, the item is not exactly the same as the other one was. It's a little inferior. And in moving stuff around again, another mark was put on the wall. I mean, of course there would be. Probably would be. Because there had not yet been enough practice with that exact move. Thank God. To avoid putting the mark on the wall. I mean, it was the same move over again. So chances are the same body, movements, motions were going to be done. And the chances of repeating, I mean, with all the rest of this repetition, another mark on the wall, too. That's just part of the whole repetitive ordeal. All right. After all, it's all done. Okay, fine. One looks back in the history of humanity and asks, has humanity really evolved very far? Is there a shift? The only thing noticed shifting today was going from reverse to park to drive to reverse to park to drive to reverse to park to reverse to drive to reverse to drive to park. That was the shifting noticed. But, one wants to find out, is there a shift happening with humanity? Well, let's see. I don't know. Maybe 200 years ago, it would have been different. 200 years ago. Let's look back 200 years ago. I mean, that's back before the shift, supposedly, the alleged shift started, I guess. I don't know when this shift was supposed to have started exactly. I don't think anybody does. Or how fast it's supposed to happen. How fast it's really going. Or when it's supposed to have been done. But I've heard anything from 10 years to 5,000. No, that's really specific, isn't it? This whole shift. That's enough to just blur the whole thing out so that you either believe it because you've heard about it or don't believe it at all because it ain't happening. All right, anyway. Looking back through time. 200, let's just go back 200 years. All right, look, hey, 150 years ago. 150 years ago. Before the shift. Well, let's see. Things would have been different, yes. I suppose we had progressed. For goodness sakes, this whole thing would have had to have been done on horseback. Or by walking on foot. Down to the country store in the woods. Through the woods. Over hill, over dale. Through the woods we go. That kind of thing. Down to the country store. Buy an item. Okay. Get it home. Decide that perhaps it's not exactly what we wanted. Well, then get back on the horse and ride back to the store and return the item. I think that probably happened back then. Probably did. So, really now, not much has changed, has it? The same old stupid shit. The same old stupid thing. Waste time, waste energy, waste, decent mood in the day. Other things could have been getting done, But no, realized that actually Murphy's store on the other side of town has the same thing for $1 less than does Ye Old Country Store, where it was originally purchased. So, back to Ye Old Country Store, get the money back, and then get on the horse and ride over to Murphy's and buy it there. Yep, saved $1. Same old stupid thinking going on. Shift of consciousness, upgrade, consciousness upgrade, meditation, leap forward. I'm not so sure. Oh, but wait, there is one little difference. Today we do it in a car. Aha! There has been progress, hasn't there? Now we do it, in a contraption that burns up gas and pollutes the atmosphere, and with which we have no mental rapport whatsoever because it's not even a living thing. Oh, wonderful progress. Consciousness shift, perhaps, maybe a downshift, I don't know. But what I noticed today was going from park to drive to reverse to drive to park to drive to park to drive to park to drive to park to drive. Hey, maximize your performance, evolve your life. Actually act now.